Okay, welcome to this new video, and we are still in the Viper series. And in this second video, we want to dive deep into. We have finished in the previous video. If you didn't watch it, go back to the channel. We finished the project setup, but now we want to continue with these tasks here, where we want to configure our Postgres database. We want to set up the database connection and then implement the various models in the apps, and then make migrations. And perhaps, if we still have time, we will continue with a few tasks there. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to open our terminal, and I need to make some clarification for this series. Like, this series is not really for beginners. If you're an absolute beginner, this is really not for you. I'm hoping that I'll be releasing a beginner series in Django after this one. But if you're a beginner, you might not find this easy. I can mention also that if you had on, maybe it will make sense later, but it's really not for beginners. So it requires you to have some experience with Django when you know your way out. Um, yeah, so I think I needed to make that clear. So, um, though I do not stop you from trying to learn, you can still keep around if you really think you had enough. And yeah, I will try to make things simple as possible. But for a beginner, you'll find some hard time. But still, if you're hard enough, if you're a hard person, you can find your way around. So let's dive in. Let's if you're using Linux or Ubuntu or Unix operating systems, we will flow like smoothly. If you're using Windows or and Mac, I think we will flow smoothly. If you're using Windows, like I said, this series is not for beginners. You should be knowing your way around setting up your Postgres. If you don't know, there are videos, plenty of videos on YouTube. How do you set up Postgres? How do you create a database in Postgres? There are various ways. So the setup, after creating the database, you have your passwords. It should really not be hard, as we are going to see. So for those of you who are using Ubuntu and Mac, I think we can flow like the same. Like we can have the same flow. For guys using Windows, you should find your way out, or you should be knowing how to set up your Postgres DB. So for me, I'll just go into my DB and sudo uh, Postgres Postgres um, PSQL PSQL. That's how I start my DB, and I input my password. And yeah, so I can list the databases that I have in my DB, and the one that I'm more interested in is the Vipers Sports Club, the this one. So sorry about that. So the Vipers Sports Club is the DB that we created. You can create your own there. How do you create a DB in Ubuntu? Um, in Ubuntu, Linux. Um, this is basically SQL command, so it shouldn't be even about an operating system. So create database Vipers, and the owner is Kenya. So if you don't have the owner username, it will be assigned to default owner or user, which is Postgres. But I don't like that, so you can change it to that. So I think that's all I wanted to show you with database setup. Then we need to connect our database into onto onto our application or to our application. So you come to your settings.py in the project folder here, and the settings.py, look for that file. There is already the default database connection, which is SQLite, that is given to us by Django by default. But we don't want to use SQLite because it's not a production grade database. So we want to use the our database, the Postgres. So I want to use the environment file. So I've created an environment file, example.env, And this is how your file will look like. So your database name is vipers.postclub. It is hosted locally, the DB host. The password is password. Change it to anything that you want. Um, the DB port is 5432 and the username is Kenya, like you saw. And this is the secret key. Sometimes people don't put it in the environment variables, but I think um, professionally you should do that. So you come to your database configuration. We have installed PostgreSQL PG, that package in the previous video. If you didn't do that, please install PostgreSQL PG. So call your database, variables using this code, and this is how we configure the database or how we connect it. So I think we are done with that. We can comment that out, not comment, but at least indicate that we are done with that. So the next thing is to implement models in the matches app, and this means we are moving to close to creating our tickets, or our entire application. So if you know if you have an idea about Django, in Django we have different applications, and I've created these applications. Probably I did not talk about how, but I think we talked about this in the previous video. We created these applications. So we have the matches application, the news, the player, the products, the teams, the tickets, the users, and I think those are the apps. So in the apps, we have the models file, models.py, and this is where we put everything to do with our database. So this is how we want to define our database structure, how the data should be structured. And we will start straight away. So we want to first implement the Django DB models, and we want to implement also to import, I think UUID, because I will need it. Import UUID. Okay. Yes. So the first model that you want to create is the match model, and we will create class match. That is my copilot helping me. Models dot model. Please note that dot model is the model class that we are inheriting from here, and it is capital models dot model. Okay. So yeah, we can put some little comments there, and we are saying that the model representing a match in the tournament, definitely. And the ID that we want to override the default ID, which is the primary key, which is an integer. But in this case, we want to use the universally unique identifier for many reasons. It is secure, it is easy to use, you avoid collisions, and yeah. So models.uuid, models.uuid field, and by default, its primary key is true. It should be the primary key. So the default value is the UUID, of course. UUID dot UUID dot UUID4. I don't know. I can't type. This mic is really okay. Maybe I get this. Okay. So editable. That's of course false. It shouldn't be editable. So we want to look at some other fields that we need here. So in the match, what do we want most? In a match, of course, we need the teams. We need to know more about the teams, their logos, and where they are playing from, the competition they are playing in. It could be Premier League, it could be anything. Okay. So we want to know first of all the home team, and that is just a character. So it should be um. So we have the teams match, and we are in the match. So it makes sense to inherit this Copilot is really reminding us. If we hope to create a team, so it makes sense that we inherit it as a foreign key. So this would be models dot foreign key. Okay, and we can autocomplete that. So related name is home matches. That will help us in doing some query retrievals. And on delete, you want to delete everything related to the team, models.cascade. Um, huh. So away, the away team that you want to define, because there must be two teams. So in this case, in our app, if we are processing tickets, uh, Vipers will always, of course, be the um, the home team, because you cannot have tickets for the foreign game. You can't control that. Okay, so we want to put the date for the match, which is date time dot field. Why it shouldn't be auto? Because we don't know when that match will be. It cannot be on the creation on that day. Then we want to talk about the stadium, which is the character field, really. And then we want to talk about the match time. Yes, the match time, which is models.time field. We don't know that. The score home, we can't do that because we don't know. Maybe for later issues. Uh, but we don't need that right now. Okay. What else do we need? The competition itself. The competition, and this should be something that we can define somewhere else, like the tournament within the is the tournament name. So I'm thinking should it be a foreign key? But yeah, I think we can go with the foreign key, uh, which is models dot foreign key competition. Yes, and delete cascade. Um, Let me see what I'm missing. What could be missing? I think we have most important things. Most of the important things we have them. Maybe one more thing that we can think about is the status. Is the game still on? What if the game match is cancelled? What if like something like that, or it is played, or it is postponed? So we can create some sort of a choice, um, status choices, and I want this to be a tuple, and within the tuple we can. Okay, good. So it is scheduled, it's ongoing, it's completed, it's cancelled. These are the things that I think we might need. And so we can say then status, and it could be the models dot character field. Um, Max length could be 10. Yes, that is still okay. And the choices that we want is status choices. So by default, every game is scheduled to happen unless otherwise. Then if the game is rescheduled, maybe we can also think about that. As a Boolean field, we can create here rescheduled. Rescheduled, depending on how people read it, rescheduled. Yes, models dot Boolean field, and we can set that to false. So I think we are done with our matches model, and the next thing we could be defining like the meta class mirror, and we want to look at the verbose name, which is match or matches. We can do matches, I think. Plural, yes, that's okay. How do we want to things to appear in the admin? We define the string data um, method, and we want to look at the home versus away team. We really don't need these dates, so we can return if solve dot home versus self dot. If you don't know how to use this word self, I've just released, or I released a video a few weeks back about these self keywords or the self word. And why do we use it? When do we use it? When do we need it? So check it out. So I think that's we need that. Um, what else do we need? I think that's all we need for now. So we have used some classes in the fields, and they are not yet defined, like the team and the competition. And but the competition, we can put it here because it's, I mean, it belongs here. So class competition, and it shouldn't be really complicated with a model. Then, so this model representing a competition. Okay. Okay. So we need the ID. Of course, it will be the UUID. It could be an overkill, but yes, we are better that way. So the name of the of the competition, we need it. We might need some description, yes. What else? Maybe the sponsor also. Yes, sponsors are very important. And I think that's all we need. That's all we might need. So we might define the dunder print method, str, for printing, and return self that name. Yes, I think that's what we need from that. The next thing is what else? What else? What else? What else? Is maybe that's all we need for now when it comes to the match to the matches application. So our next task is to this is done. Our next task is the teams model. So we come to the teams and we come to the models, and yeah, we come here. So in the teams, um just replicating things the way they are, we would have looking for something here. Okay, so from Django.db import models, and I think I'll import the UUID also. So class team, the model, and the copilot is really doing things, completing for me things. Sometimes it gives me what I want, but sometimes I'm worried it might give me what I don't want. So this is the model representing. You can put any comment representing the team in the tournament. Yeah. So we have the ID, which is models.uuid. If you have Copilot, you can autocomplete that. We need the team name, of course. Very important. Models.field or character field. And the max length, the name of the team. We can give it the 255. Yeah, I don't think the team name will go beyond that. So we need also the log of the team, which is an image. Models dot image field. Okay. Press tab and autocomplete that. Do we need the coach's name? Maybe. When it was founded, yes. Home stadium, yes. Description, maybe, yes. Do we have the stadium? We don't need players info right here. Um, I think that's what is important right now. So we have the class meta, and um, the next thing we want to do is verbose name, and verbose is really to help us understand, not understand, but to to make our models look cleaner in the admin like panel or in the admin backend, dashboard, whatever name you call it. If you don't do that, you'll find like teams, like an extra S being added, and you really don't want to look like that. So we define the string method, and what do we want to print here? We want at least the team name, maybe the stadium and the manager's name. I don't know. Um, okay, team name and the stadium. I think that's enough. Um, so soft dot name. We can put hyphen there and soft dot coach. Yeah. So that's all about the team. So that means we need to go to the matches and import the team because we are using it. So import from from um, from teams dot models import team. So I think that that is fine. So going back to the teams model, what else can we need from the team? Maybe we might need some other stuff, but we will come back to that later. So we are done with that. The teams model. Then we want to implement the tickets model, and it's done. And we come to the tickets. Where is it? Where is it? Yes, here. So we want to implement the tickets model and to create the next first thing we need to import is UUID. Each ticket will have a unique UUID. And really, since we are going to be using MTN Mobile Money, um, UUIDs are really, really very powerful artifacts in this implementation. Okay, so in the ticket itself, we want to implement fast class ticket, of course. This is model.model, and this um, model representing a ticket for a match. Yes. So we have the ID, which is a UUID models dot um, UUID, and primary key. I hope I have that right. Is true. Default is UUID dot UUID 4, and editable is false. Okay. So match, we need to tag the match, which is models dot, it's a foreign key. We already have the matches, so foreign key, and this is the match, and on delete um, equals to models dot cascade. Okay, what do we need? The ticket type, maybe, and you're going to see what the ticket type might be, which is models dot character field, but it must be a choice field, like choices, and we need to define the choices here. Now, Um, the ticket, the ticket, the ticket type takes on like the category. It could be VIP. It could be like ordinary. It could be like for students and VVIP and any other. So we can say that ticket category faces, yes, and we have uh, VIP, which is VIP. I don't want like that word, regular. Ordinary is ordinary. The ordinary. We don't have flights here, so student, this could be students. And we might have VVIP. I think that's enough for the categories. So we can come here and then say for tickets, the ticket type would be the ticket category, the ticket category choices. And yeah, I think that's, um, do we need to, well, we can supply the default. So the next thing is the price. The price. Yes, that's very important. So what would be the price of the ticket? We are using the decimal field and taking to two decimal places, seat number. I don't think we will need seat numbers in this, but since it can be blank, we might put it there, but it might not be necessary. Um, um, yes, date purchased. We need that. We don't need the purchaser name because the purchaser can buy multiple tickets, so a ticket will not be tagged to to um to a name, but we will tag it to a phone number, and we are going to see that in a few. Purchaser name, mm, maybe not. Um, we might need the tournament. We definitely need that. The tournament is the competition, and that means we need to import competition here. So from matches in that models import tournament. What do we have in matches? Oh, yeah, we have the competition. Okay. So oh, so from matches we need to import matches.model, import competition. Yes. And yeah, that's what we have. What else? We need availability status, like the tickets. Are they available? Availability status. And the availability status is a boolean, like is it available or it's not available? Like, can you accommodate more people in the stadium? Something like that. Um that brings us to sold out or sold, but we might not need that right now. The next thing that we might need is the date when it is issued, when the ticket was issued. We need that. And then date sold. The date sold could be just an autofill that we will fill out later automatically. So we need to know valid from, is it valid from that date to that date? like we should give like we might even culture to that within a window where the game is being played, like today is 18th August in Chan Championship in Africa. Uganda is playing against South Africa. So if you are to build a ticket system like that, you want to make sure that maybe the ticket is valid from like 17th to maybe to 18th, and anything beyond that, or you can just put the time depending on what we will want. So um so this our ticket will have certain features, and some of those certain features will include like a barcode, and barcode is really like a text, so it's a character field. We need to have a QR code on on which is an image, but I think we can delay that for now. Even fields like the owner, we can leave that for now. So so that's like the implementation of the ticket for now, but the ticket model is going to expand. Is going to expand like to include more features, and I think you guys have seen how we've built this, and if you're still here with me, um, congratulations. So we will be developing this. The code will be there on GitHub, and we will push it from here. So please leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment, and see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.